Everything begins with awareness. You cannot change a habit, a mindset, or even a single thought until you first notice it. Most of us live on autopilot, repeating the same mental loops day after day without realizing how much they shape our reality. We wake up, worry about the future, replay the past, criticize ourselves, and then wonder why we feel stuck. Awareness is like turning on the light in a dark room. The moment you see what's really happening in your mind, you have the power to make a choice. That choice is the difference between reacting out of habit or responding with intention. For example, when you catch yourself thinking, "I'll never succeed," awareness gives you a chance to stop, question it, and reframe it. Instead of believing that toxic loop, you can shift the thought to, "I'm learning and getting better every day." That one moment of awareness can completely redirect your energy. The truth is, nothing changes without awareness. Every transformation, whether in health, success, or relationships, starts with noticing the patterns that hold you back. It's not about judging yourself. It's about observing yourself with honesty. So, if you want to take control of your mental habits, begin here. Pay attention. Notice your thoughts, your triggers, and your emotions. Awareness is the doorway to growth, and once you open that door, every other change becomes possible. One of the most destructive mental habits we fall into is overthinking. We replay conversations, predict outcomes that never happen, and worry ourselves into paralysis. The irony is, overthinking feels like problem solving, but in reality, it keeps us stuck. Think about it. How many times have you delayed making a decision because you kept asking, "What if? What if I fail? What if people judge me? What if it doesn't work out?" These questions trap us in fear rather than move us toward progress. The key to breaking this cycle is learning to interrupt it. You don't need to have every answer figured out. You just need to take the first step. Simple techniques, like deep breathing, journaling, or Mel Robbins' 5-second rule, can stop the spiral and push you into action. Count down from 5 and move, make the call, send the email, start the project. Action is the cure for overthinking. When you train yourself to act instead of spinning in thought, you build momentum. Momentum creates confidence, and confidence fuels clarity. Over time, your brain learns a new pattern: less dwelling, more doing. Remember this: your life will not change because of the thoughts you keep circling. It will change because of the actions you take. Break the habit of overthinking, and you free yourself to make decisions, learn, and grow. The moment you stop asking "what if," you start living "what's next." The words you speak to yourself matter more than the words anyone else says to you. Negative self-talk is one of the most toxic mental habits because it convinces you to believe lies about your own potential. Thoughts like "I'm not good enough," "I always fail," or "I can't do this" quietly destroy your confidence before you even begin. But here's the truth: your brain listens to everything you tell it. If you constantly feed it doubt, it will look for proof to confirm those doubts. The good news is, you can reframe the way you talk to yourself. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," shift it to, "I'm learning how to do this." Instead of, "I always fail," try, "Every failure is teaching me something valuable." These small shifts may sound simple, but they rewire the brain to focus on progress instead of limitation. Think about the most successful people in the world. They didn't avoid challenges. They faced them with empowering beliefs. They practiced self-talk that built courage instead of fear. You have that same power. Reframing negative self-talk doesn't mean lying to yourself. It means choosing words that strengthen you instead of weaken you. When you catch yourself being your own worst critic, pause and become your own best coach. Remember, Your inner voice is the most constant influence in your life. Make it one that pushes you forward, not one that holds you back. Gratitude and focus are two of the most powerful mental habits you can build. Gratitude shifts your perspective, while focus directs your energy. Together, they shape the way you experience life and the results you create. When you practice gratitude daily, you train your brain to notice what's good instead of what's missing. It doesn't mean ignoring challenges. It means choosing to see progress even in small things, saying thank you for what you have builds resilience and keeps you from being consumed by comparison. Gratitude is the foundation for a positive mindset, but gratitude alone is not enough. You also need focus. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Social media, endless notifications, and constant noise steal your attention and scatter your energy. Without focus, you end up busy but not productive. That's why building the habit of tasking, setting priorities, and eliminating distractions is critical. Focus creates clarity, and clarity creates momentum. When you combine gratitude with focus, something powerful happens. You stop chasing everything at once, and instead, you move forward with both joy and purpose. You feel fulfilled in the present moment, while still making progress toward your future goals. Every morning, ask yourself 2 questions. What am I grateful for today? And what's the one thing I need to focus on? If you live by these 2 questions, you'll not only find happiness, you'll build a life of meaning and success. Your mind is like a garden, it grows whatever you plant. If you fill it with negativity, gossip, and fear, don't be surprised when it produces doubt and anxiety. But if you feed it with positive, empowering inputs, it will produce clarity, confidence, and growth. That's the power of controlling your inputs. Most people don't realize how much of their mindset is shaped by what they consume. The news you watch, the social media you scroll, the conversations you engage in, all of these are inputs. If you're constantly exposed to anger, chaos, or judgment, your thoughts will naturally lean that way. On the other hand, surrounding yourself with inspiring books, uplifting mentors, and meaningful conversations creates a completely different mental environment. The truth is simple. Your inputs shape your reality. That's why successful people are intentional about what they allow into their minds. They protect their attention and choose carefully who and what gets to influence their thinking. So, ask yourself, what am I feeding my mind every day? If you want to strengthen your mindset, start replacing toxic inputs with positive ones. Limit mindless scrolling. Reduce time spent with negative people. Fill that space with learning, gratitude, and growth. Remember, controlling your inputs is not about cutting yourself off from the world. It's about choosing the world you want to live in. When you control your inputs, you control your mindset and ultimately your future. In a world that never stops moving, the greatest gift you can give yourself is presence. Too often, our minds are either replaying the past or worrying about the future. We miss the only place where life actually happens, the present moment. That's where mindfulness comes in. Mindfulness is simply the practice of being aware, fully engaged in what you're doing, feeling, or experiencing without distraction. It doesn't require hours of meditation on a mountain. It starts with small choices, like truly listening in a conversation instead of thinking about your reply, or noticing your breath when stress begins to rise. When you practice presence, your productivity improves because you're not splitting your focus. Your relationships deepen because people feel seen and valued. And your stress reduces because you're not carrying the weight of tomorrow on your shoulders. Mindfulness also gives you control over your reactions. Instead of being pulled by impulses or emotions, you create a pause, a space where you can choose a better response. That small pause can change the outcome of a decision, a conversation, even an entire day. Living mindfully doesn't mean ignoring goals or responsibilities. It means approaching them with clarity and calm instead of rush and overwhelm. Every moment becomes an opportunity to live fully instead of just racing through life. Remember, your life is not happening someday in the future. It's happening now. Practicing mindfulness and presence ensures you don't just exist. You truly live.